Hello, my love. So I just did a video on how when you're beginning on your spiritual journey, some of the things you have to remember is that one of the things is that you're going to have to be battling between your what your mind is telling you and what your soul is trying to tell you. But I said something there as far as our souls being fractured, and I wanted to expand on that. Of course, our souls are massive and extremely powerful. And when we're dropped down into this physical body, I thought of this last night, or rather, I was just talking and the message came through that your soul becomes fractured as you experience different things on this physical realm. And part of our journey, in addition to remembering why our soul came to this planet, came into this physical form, in addition to that, it's healing the fractures, it's reconnecting. And first identifying where the fractures are in my soul, and then working on healing that, and like healing the land, so to speak, or healing your soul, generally speaking, putting it back together, right? Reconnecting. And I truly believe that one of the ways is to make, well, language generally, but I think we need to stop saying I was connecting to my higher self. The term higher self. Now, this may resonate for some people and it may resonate, may not for others. For me, for those who struggle with like self esteem issues or feeling like you're not enough, I've recently come to the realization that continuing to say, oh, I'm connecting to my higher self, saying that feels so unattainable. It feels like I'm never, and I am so hard on myself, which people have self esteem issues. We are. We feel like we're a burden. We feel like we're never going to be, we're asking for these things, but we don't feel like we're up to task, or we don't feel like we're worthy of it, right? It's a struggle, whatever. And I'm working on it. But continuing to call it my higher self makes me feel like I'll never attain that, and I hear people say, oh, well, you know, your higher self is living the timeline of everything you want in your life, and you just have to raise your frequency and match it to that, and then you'll be living that timeline like you're already your higher self or something like that, right? And I'm like, well, that feels like the current state I'm in. I mean, that doesn't feel like I'm going to reach my higher self. And then once you reach that, I mean, I'm not saying I won't reach it, I will, but so once I reach that, is there another higher self that's living an even better life, and then I have to like rise up to live that higher self? It's like, so I'm always just going to be like working to be higher and higher, which I guess, yeah, because you're trying to raise your vibration, but it still feels so unattainable. You see what I'm saying? Like it causes like a deeper fracture in my soul almost to use that language. Language is so important. Um, so important when we are speaking about ourselves, but also connecting to the soul. Language is so important. And particularly the feeling aspect of it, right? When you're communicating, like let's say if you're communicating with other spirits, like if you talk to trees or whatever the case may be, the language is not the same, but you feel what they're trying to tell you. Sometimes the language is the same, they speak to you in your language, whatever that language is. A lot of times it can be a feeling. So language is so important. So for me now, what I say is I'm connecting to my soul. It feels more integrative. It feels warmer when I say it that way, that I'm connecting to my soul and my soul's purpose. And and that feels more healing. So I think for some of us in the world, continuing to say, oh, I'm connecting to my higher self may feel like too much pressure. And then you're going to feel like I'm failing myself by not reaching everything that I want for myself. I think by saying I'm connecting to my soul, that may work better for you, and that may be more healing. And also remember, there are souls on this planet that their whole purpose is to keep you fractured. It is to keep you distracted. Like that is their cycle. It's not a matter of, oh, I'm gonna curse them or whatever. You can. But some souls, that's the cycle, is just to be like evil people that That's just their cycle. Is to, and I don't want to say to cause chaos, because chaos, good can come out of chaos, right? I mean, there's chaos magic that can be turned into good, but their purpose is to keep you fractured. It's to not remember your, it's to not make you whole again, or even halfway whole, because if so, you're going to be able to tap into powerful gifts that are your birthright, that are not even your birthright, that are a part of your soul's DNA beyond your physical form. And so they don't want that, because the more powerful you are, the more control you can have over them, or the more you can keep them in check, however you want to say it. And so they don't want you to remember your full power, especially Black and brown people, because we're the blueprint. We are so magical if we can heal our own soul and remember that. And we're so amazingly, our gifts are, anyways, if we remember, we would be a powerhouse. And if we actually all worked together and faced the true enemy, we'd be even more of a powerhouse. But let's start on the individual level and working on healing our own souls first. But yeah, connect to your soul. You're connecting to your soul. Understand that there are people out there that are just there to keep you fractured. And I think also that once you realize that there are souls that that's their purpose, you don't question as much. First off, you're not like, oh my God, how did you end up like this? Even if you find out how they ended up like that, right? Let's say they had like some shitty childhood or something, and now they're just a shitty person, right? Who wants to bring everybody else down with them. That was also their cycle. So how is that gonna, this is why I say I would prefer protective spells over baneful magic any day. That's me. I think baneful magic has its place. Like spells around cursing other people, all of that. I definitely think it has its place. But for me, I think protective is so much, there's so many, and there's so many souls you can't see that push negative energy your way. Now, what you can do is in your protective spell work into where the bounce back energy has a little bit of spice to it. You definitely can do that, and I think that's wonderful. But it's so much more important to do protective work around yourself so that nothing can touch you except what you want to touch you, right? Or whatever darkness you're trying to work out of yourself, right? Because sometimes we are our worst enemy. Of course, tying back to this whole idea of I don't like saying higher self because I feel like I'm not up to the task. So yeah, and so I think that's something else to think about. But anyways, I'm going up to 8 minutes on this. I tend to ramble when I get a message. So anyway, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.